Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, February 24th. We have all you need to know about the approval of Pollock Hall's renovations, as well as more on revisions to the Cailey Act will affect Penn State students.
We also have more information on a shooting at a Pennsylvania hospital, along with sports, entertainment, weather, and an interview. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Emma Goldkopf.
And I'm Cailey Thalman. This weekend, Penn State celebrated THON, a 46-hour-long, no-sitting, no-sleeping dance marathon to raise money for childhood cancer. This is an annual event that began back in 1973 and now features over 700 dancers and thousands of student volunteers. There was so much going on, from student performances to the pep rally to hearing from some of the families themselves. This year, THON 2025, A Home for Hope, raised a record-breaking $17.7 million towards 4 Diamonds. Congratulations to all the dancers and to everyone who participated in the event.
On Friday, the Penn State Board of Trustees approved a $92.1 million project that will initiate the renovation of Pollock Halls. The project has several different phases that are expected to take place through 2030. The first phase will include the renovation of Rittner and Wolf Halls, which is projected to start in May and finish in July of 2026. In all, Pollock houses around 20% of the University Park housing inventory. Student engagement and feedback has been utilized in order to meet the needs of its residents.
The United States Department of Education Office for Civil Rights issued a letter stating that educational institutions, including Penn State, receiving federal funding must comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, or national origin. The letter suggests that national institutions have racially discriminated against students in recent years. The letter also states that schools have to review their policies and eliminate race-based considerations within 14 days from February 14th. Failure to comply may result in a loss of federal funding.
Last week, Penn State amended the University Cailey Act to include hazing incidents in the crime and safety notifications all students receive. The Cailey Act is a federal law that requires colleges and universities to disclose information about certain crimes on campus and university-owned property. The act did not previously recognize hazing as a crime, but it is now included in the legally required reporting category. The amended Cailey Act is to take effect immediately in order to enhance transparency between Penn State and its students. Now, what can students expect outside this week? Student meteorologist Filippo Formica is live in the studio with this week's forecast. Filippo?
Thanks, Emma. Taking a look outside of the Penn State Arboretum right now. The sun has set now, but a beautiful day, albeit a bit cloudy across the Commonwealth. Right now, 46 degrees here in State College, but feeling a few degrees colder at 43 with a south-southwesterly wind at 7 miles per hour. Let's take a look at our temperatures across the Commonwealth right now. 46 here in State College, 50 in Pittsburgh, and as we look off to the south and east, 46 as well in Philadelphia. Let's take a look out at the rest of the country, where in Omaha right now, 60 degrees. That is a 100-degree shift from just this time 24 hours ago. A massive warm-up on the way right now, 80 in Abilene right now, and 53 in Chicago. Let's take a look at our radar and satellite closer to home. Some clouds moving through the southeastern portion of the Commonwealth. Some clearing beginning in northwestern Pennsylvania right now, and we'll see that trend continue as we head throughout the overnight hours and into the day tomorrow before some rain is on the way. And we can see that rainmaker on the way, part of our parade of clippers that is going to set sail here throughout the rest of the week. We also have an atmospheric river event ongoing in the Pacific Northwest, where they have seen multiple flooding reports throughout the day today. Let's time out our weather closer to home here. Overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, we could see some cloud cover increase before some rain showers begin throughout the late morning and into the early afternoon hours here in State College. It is going to be a quick hitter, though, as this will all start to move out throughout the late afternoon. One thing of note, the higher elevations could see some snowfall. Meanwhile, here in the valley, we should be seeing all rain. As we continue throughout the day on Tuesday, maybe some pesky showers as we head into the overnight. Clouds increase on Wednesday, but should start to clear throughout the early morning hours. And as we head throughout the rest of the day on Wednesday, we'll be increasing up to 45 degrees before, again, another round of some rain here in the lower elevations of Pennsylvania, but in the northern plateau and the Penn State Grand Canyon region. We'll be seeing some snowfall there. That will start to move out, and we could see a line of showers, maybe some downpours and a rumble of thunder or two as we head throughout the early morning hours of Thursday, but that'll all set sail as this parade of clippers continues. We'll see another clipper system off to our north Saturday. Could see some wraparound snow and rain showers throughout the Commonwealth throughout the day on Saturday, but Sunday looking like the day of the weekend. The clouds start to wane and we see a beautiful day across the Commonwealth. So it will be colder on Sunday than Saturday. So make sure to pack an extra layer or two before Monday. We see wash, rinse, repeat before our next system moves through. So for tonight, we're going to be seeing 37 degrees, our low here in State College. That's going to be warmer than some of our high temperatures just this time last week. Increasing cloud covers throughout the night, and we'll see southwesterly winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we go into the day tomorrow, 45 with those AM showers clearing by the afternoon, and southwesterly winds still at 5 miles per hour. Here's your 7-day outlook. That parade of clipper systems bringing in some waterworks throughout the later portion of this week, but we do start to clear out towards the weekend. Late week chill right around average for Friday, but we will be increasing the amount of sunshine as we head into Sunday and Monday, some PM clouds with a high of 39. Back to you, Emma.
Thanks, Filippo. Now stick around because after the break, Jenna Wisman will have the latest in sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jenna Wisman with your sports update. Number 18 ranked Penn State is arguably the hottest team in college hockey right now after upsetting number 1 ranked Michigan State this weekend in Munn Ice Arena. On Friday night, it was sophomore Reese Laubach who scored not only once in regulation, but then again in the shootout to help give Penn State the victory by a score of 3-2. On Saturday, it was sophomore Aiden Fink who scored the game-winning goal, and junior Arseny Sergiev who stopped 42 shots as Penn State defeated Michigan State 3-2. Penn State is now 9-1-2 over its last 12 games, and they look to push their current win streak to 6 games. The team wraps up the regular season against number 5 ranked Minnesota on Friday at 8:30 p.m. and on Saturday at 8 p.m. in Hockey Valley. Number 10 ranked Penn State men's lacrosse defeated Navy for just the 4th time in program history by a score of 13-7 on Saturday. Coming off of a heartbreaking overtime loss to Princeton last week, Penn State wanted to ensure that this week's outcome was different. Both teams came out hot, but the Nittany Lions led the midshipmen 8-6 at the end of the second quarter, thanks to senior Luke Wallstrom, who scored his second goal of the game with less than 2 minutes left in the half. Penn State dominated the fourth quarter with 3 unanswered goals, and Wallstrom went on to record his first 5-point game with 2 goals and 3 assists. Penn State will look to keep this same energy as they travel to face Yale on Saturday at noon. It looks like Luka Doncic might be getting comfortable in purple and gold after his performance on Saturday against the Denver Nuggets. Doncic tallied 32 points and 10 rebounds while having 7 assists and 4 steals, leading the Lakers to victory by a score of 123-100. This win broke the Nuggets' 9-game winning streak and showed Lakers fans exactly who they thought they were getting after the trade that shocked the world. LeBron James chipped in 25 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. When asked about their chemistry, Doncic said that it's still budding, but it's getting better every day. The Lakers travel back home to take on the Mavericks tomorrow night. For nearly half a century, the New York Yankees have enforced a facial grooming policy of no beards or mustaches. Well, on Friday, history was made. Team owner Hal Steinbrenner announced that starting now, Yankees players and coaches and other uniformed personnel will be allowed to grow well-groomed beards. This announcement comes after many talks, including one with closing pitcher Devin Williams, who came to New York in December from the Milwaukee Brewers. Williams expressed his concern as he has never pitched without a little stubble, and it was agreed upon the two that players who feel their best play their best. Williams and teammates are very appreciative of the rule change. Williams saying, quote, "It feels nice to feel like you're being listened to." That's all for your sports update. After the break, Lily Pergola has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Lily Pergola with your entertainment update. The THON 2025 National Act shocked the Bryce Jordan Center on the first night of it is the first tradition entertainment committee to bring in a special guest performer to excite the dancers for the 46 hours. The hit band The Fray was the surprise guest, keeping dancers, volunteers, and spectators on their feet. The Fray, who are best known for songs Over My Head and How to Save a Life, belted throughout the Bryce Jordan Center. Lead singer Joe King serenaded the arena and interacted with people on the dance floor. An amazing performance to kick off the start of THON. Blues fans get excited. The State College Theater is hosting Tommy Castro and the Painkillers on February 26th. The American blues guitarist is stopping for one night only to present the Closer to the Bone tour. Castro has been recording and performing since the 90s with top blues albums. Guests can listen to songs from the album like Woke Up Smell Like Coffee and One More Night. Tickets are available for purchase through the State Theater's website. You don't want to miss it. Liv Anderson is in the studio with details on a unique business in State College. Liv?
Thanks, Lily. I had the opportunity to speak with the owner and employees of Taproot Kitchen, a nonprofit that provides jobs for adults with intellectual disabilities. Let's check it out. Here at Taproot Kitchen is a growing and passionate community with the goal of making sure that everyone has a place at the table. Taproot Kitchen is a nonprofit organization aiming to put adults with intellectual disabilities to work. Having a son with intellectual disabilities, the owner Sharon explains her purpose of starting this business.
We wanted to really network on behalf of our children and others with disabilities to create a community project and a community space that would really further the vision of a truly inclusive society. Some of the workers with ranging times and experiences in a kitchen shared their favorite parts of Taproot.
I would say my favorite part of the Taproot Kitchen is the overall atmosphere and being able to cook and prep for certain reasons.
Where are you again? Basically everything. The atmosphere, talking to people, like, they're not considered coworkers, we're like friends or family.
There are limited jobs that can offer a fully inclusive environment. Working in food seemed to be the best choice.
We chose to do it in food because food is just an amazing equalizer. Everybody loves food, everybody wants to eat food, and it's a great way for them to serve rather than being served.
Taproot welcomes every employee with open arms, making it a highly enjoyable experience.
Not only do I need this job, I like this job. And I love this job. I wouldn't want to give it up for anything else. I genuinely enjoy working here and getting paid for it too.
Having organizations like Taproot will hopefully inspire other companies to accept and create a place for these passionate and dedicated workers. For PSN TV, I'm Liv Anderson. Make sure to check out Taproot Kitchen, located in the Nittany Mall, and support this incredible cause. Back to you, Lily.
In national news, the 31st SAG Awards were held last night in the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, hosted by actress Kristen Bell. Bell's opening monologue paid homage to actors' early roles in their careers. Molly Shannon looked especially shocked after the clip of her younger self. The first statuette of the night went to Real Pain star Kieran Culkin for outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role. Timothée Chalamet and Demi Moore received the outstanding performance for male and female actors in a leading role. The hit TV series Shogun clinched 5 statuettes, including outstanding performance for male and female actors in a drama series. Calling all Rushers, Big Time Rush has announced they are going back on tour. The boy band, reunited in 2021, has decided on another tour worldwide. Fans can listen to Kendall, James, Carlos, and Logan sing every song from every episode of the Nickelodeon series. The tour will also include special guests Caitlin Tarver and Stephen Kramer Glickman, who played Joe in Gustavo Rock, on the show. Tickets are on sale to the general public on Friday, February 28th at 10 a.m. It's going to be a big night. And that's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Neela Azami will be speaking to Michael Giroux, a gymnast on the Penn State's men's gymnastics team. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Neela Azami, and I'm joined tonight by Michael Giroux, a gymnast on the Penn State men's gymnastics team. Thank you so much for coming tonight, Michael.
Thank you for having me. Stoked to be here.
Firstly, could you introduce yourself a bit and share what got you into gymnastics and being a student athlete at Penn State?
Yeah, so I'm a 5th year here at Penn State on the gymnastics team. I initially got into gymnastics because my dad was a gymnast and me and my sister tried it at the club that he did it growing up at. Originally, didn't really like it, tried another gym, and then fell in love with it. Slowly that led to me coming here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just kept getting more into it as you went. Yeah, and then got passionate about it. That's awesome. Well, that's great. Glad you're here. So during your time here, you've won multiple awards, including All-American and Big Ten honors. What achievement would you say that you're most proud of, and how has that shaped you, or has that shaped you at all into like who you've become now?
Yeah, I would say the most important one to me has to be the Big Ten high bar title this past year. Honestly, a lot went into it, and it was like down to the last week. We weren't even sure if I was going to compete. I was hurt all year last year. I had a back injury that took me out for the first half of the season on high bar, and then leading up, it was like, is he going to be able to do this routine? And I believed I was able to do it. And just like in that moment, having that trust that it was going to work out and kind of just letting it happen, it was the most electric moment I've ever had in gymnastics. So it was awesome.
And does that play into, I guess, like your daily life as well? Like how that one experience, maybe like moving forward, you continue to like consider that like throughout daily things in your life too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember that one, it was something I prayed about a lot, was just to be shown that path of becoming a Big Ten champion. And when it came to it, I remembered how much I put into it and how much I prayed, and it gave me this ultimate level of peace that if I was going to do it, it was just going to work out. So I kind of take that approach into a lot of other things in my life. I talk to God about it, and then, all the work that I put in, I just trust that it's going to work out.
Awesome. That's great. That's actually going off of what you said a little bit. How do you, before you go on, or before like a meet, or before doing something big like that, how do you mentally and physically prepare? Is there like any rituals you have, or something you're like, I need to do this, a good luck thing, or just, how do you prep for something so big like that?
That's a good question. So the night before, I try to eat salmon.
Okay.
It's like, I love salmon, makes me feel light, good protein.
Right.
But the day of, obviously I got to take a shower and eat my breakfast, but I always call my dad. I talk to my dad for like probably 30 minutes just to kind of get my mind off of it. I remember there was a meet this year that it just didn't work out. I couldn't talk to him, and I was like freaking out, but I'm kind of happy that happened, because it made me realize, you know what, it's okay. Like whatever happens, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it made you not so reliant on like, if I do this and this, that means it's gonna be good. Like it made you just like calm. Okay, that's good moving forward. The salmon is funny. I wouldn't expect that. Always salmon the night before.
Always salmon, if I can.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So you also have a pretty large presence on social media. And does knowing that have a significant influence on, like, you have such an influence on younger athletes, student at Penn State, just a lot of people in general. Does that change the way that you go about your life, like on a daily basis, knowing that you're influencing so many people just by like your presence and by the sport you play and things like that?
Yeah, I think once I realized how much of an impact it could have, and it probably wasn't until it was already pretty big that I realized what it was doing. I realized that came with a lot of responsibility, especially for that future generation of, gymnasts and Penn Staters and just athletes in general. So I kind of take it under my wing to give the best image, at the same time be as honest as I can with these kids and let them know sometimes you're gonna mess up and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's changed a lot. The more I've grown, the more I've matured. So.
Right, that's awesome. Has being like what you would call now, I guess, a social media influencer, has that changed your experience by being like an athlete, like a gymnast here at all? And has it given you more opportunities, or do you think how has that impacted your experience here?
I would say it's definitely made my experience at Penn State a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It made it's just easy to meet people.
Right.
When you know that you have this thing that kind of gives you like an in a sense.
Right.
So it makes it easy to make friends. At the same time, I think with gymnastics, it's like, you know, I don't know. It's just been cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it just gives you, it's a way I feel like that people are able to like, they know who you are without having to actually meet you in person. It's almost makes it easier to meet people because they already have a good idea of like who you are and everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And kind of bringing back THON, since THON was just this past weekend, which is obviously like Penn State's biggest fundraising event. I know that this year you weren't able to be a part of the pep rally because of an injury, but past years I know that you were a part of it. Can you share your experience being a part of THON and what it's like performing on stage in front of so many people and just that experience and your THON experience in general?
Yeah, so obviously, I didn't dance this year, but dancing in the past, I remember the first time I went up on that stage. And, you know, gymnastics, very nerve-wracking.
Right.
This was like 10 times more nerve-wracking.
Really?
I'm not going to lie, because we're usually not in front of that many people.
Yeah.
And for gymnastics, like we train it our whole lives. We're ready for that. This is a performance in front of all your peers, and like if you mess it up, it could be bad. So it was a lot of fun. We also have the athlete hour, where we just hang out with the kids and we show them our sport, and all the athletes are in the building doing the same thing. So it's really cool to just make the kids smile and have them try gymnastics.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. And if you could give one piece of advice to, I guess, young gymnasts or students that want to come to Penn State, or maybe students that want to be influencers, whatever it is, what advice would you give? Like just like one piece, and that's kind of something you've learned along the way.
Yeah, I would say you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and aim up. You know, keep moving forward with your chin tall. You know.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's great advice. So I think we need to unfortunately wrap it up, but it was so great talking to you.
Thanks
so
so much.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us tonight, telling us more about your experience here at Penn State with all that you do. It seems like you have such a busy life. I think it would only be fair if you could possibly do a backflip for us.
Yeah, I can do that. I could absolutely do that.
Okay, great. That's awesome. So now stick around, because after the flip, Cailey and Emma will have the latest news from across the nation.
Luigi Mangione, the man accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, made his first court appearance since December 23rd on Friday. Mangione's state case is set to go on trial before a parallel prosecution on federal charges that carry the possibility of the death penalty. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to multiple counts of murder. Currently, Mangione is being held in a Brooklyn federal jail alongside other high-profile defendants. Judge Gregory Caro set another hearing for June 26th, but didn't schedule a trial date.
The governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, has decided to not immediately remove New York City Governor Eric Adams from office, but instead will push for increased oversight of City Hall. Eric Adams is currently facing intense surveillance as a result of his connection with the Trump administration and his bribery case. Governor Hochul cited concerns of disruptions and chaos that would be undemocratic as her reason for not removing Adams from office. Her new proposed legislation would bring in a new Deputy Inspector General for the city and include additional funding for the state comptroller, all with the goal of reestablishing trust with the public.
A man carrying a pistol and zip ties entered a Pennsylvania hospital's intensive care unit and took staff members hostage before he was killed in a shootout with police on Saturday. The shootout also left an officer dead. 3 others, including a custodian and 2 other officers, were also shot and wounded in the attack. York County District Attorney Tim Baker said it seems as though the man had contact with the hospital's ICU earlier in the week, and he intentionally targeted the workers there. The officer who died was identified as Andrew Duarte, the West York Borough County Police Department.
A new measles outbreak is spreading between Texas and New Mexico. 90 cases have been reported in western Texas and 9 in New Mexico. The Texas State Health Department reported that the majority of the cases are in people under 18. State officials also said that this is the largest outbreak the state has seen in 30 years, but that it has been concentrated in a close-knit, under-vaccinated Mennonite community. Health workers in Texas are hosting vaccination clinics and screening efforts, while New Mexico is planning to provide several vaccination clinics next week. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.